Welcome to Shark Week on Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Sharkenstein. It's a new breed of killer.
Directed by Mark Polonia, starring Greta Volkova, Ken Van Sant, Titus Himmelberger, James Carolus, and Jeff Kirkendall. This movie's about a crazed Nazi scientist who decides to put the brain and heart of Frankenstein's monster into an amalgamation of the most deadliest sharks ever to create Sharkenstein. So what do we like?
I loved Sharkenstein.
The actual look of him?
The model. The fact that they have this real life toy on screen looks amazing, especially when he
We can't call it a toy. It's some kind of practical effect shark that they made.
It doesn't look anything like the poster, but I do love this campy little shark. It just looked great.
It looked hilarious, and I think some of the fun of this movie is the fact that it's so poorly done. Anytime that shark is on screen, it's so bad. And if you're familiar with Mark Polonia or the Polonia brothers, they have a crazy track record that dates all the way back to the shot on video days. I'm just shocked that Mark is still doing it. The last one you might have seen a review of came last year with Land Shark. Holy shit, that was not the best one.
Dr. Lorca, the sharks crawled out of the tank.
Amazing!
And then returned.
So that's why there have been fluctuations in the shark population.
But you could tell that they were trying. Half of this movie is genuinely just stock footage. There's one shot, she went to go swimming, and to get a cool shot of her swimming underneath, they used stock footage of someone else of a different ethnicity and a different bathing suit.
The whole stock footage was hilarious because they had stock footage of scuba divers swimming in the ocean that was the police force that were trying to find the Sharkenstein, and you just see the green screen shark swim past them and gobble them up. It was just so out of place. They just threw the shark over top of the scuba diver, and that was it.
So they just had an idea, and they're like, well, we might not have the budget to do it, but we're gonna do it somehow, some way. We'll shoot what we can and fill in the rest. And that's exactly what they did. So, kudos to indie filmmaking at the lowest level. Now, what didn't we like? Like John mentioned with the scuba divers with the shark going over top, that happened for every single kill in the movie. There's not one quality kill at all. We kind of knew within the first 5 minutes, which kind of left us with a bad taste, even though we had next to no expectations going in.
Putting the shark kills aside, the acting is not the best in this film, especially when it came to the German scientist.
You have been very useful to me in the great experiment. Now I must detain you until I have time to decide.
The characters, they don't feel authentic. Nothing against them, it's just they felt out of place.
These were 40-plus-year-olds playing 22-year-olds. Wearing your hat sideways, trying to be hip. It's really weird. You immediately aren't gonna like the characters. And so when you don't care for anything, you're just whatever. Let it play out. Hopefully there's something redeemable at some point throughout this film. And unfortunately, that isn't the case. They didn't try anything cool. They had such a great concept in the Sharkenstein. I love the story. I just think they dropped the ball on nearly everything. The acting was very cringeworthy to me.
Is something wrong, sir?
Yeah, there is.
Did we do something wrong?
No, not at all, but I have to ask you to cut your fun short and head back to the marina.
What the hell for? We rented this thing all day and we still have 6 hours left.
Even when they were trying to be serious, and I know that they know what movie they're in. They are not completely oblivious to Mark's body of work, I'm sure of it. But there's a big difference of purposefully hamming something up and having actual cool and funny jokes.
Skip, say something, please.
What is the weather supposed to be like today?
How are we supposed to take when the mob is running after Sharkenstein and one of the characters is in a sling holding a stick?
It was supposed to be a torch, but it didn't have the flame on it. There was one scene when it was crucial that they actually had it lit. Oh my god. There was an attempt for some of the stock footage and trying to make scenes come together, but when it comes to consistency and continuity, holy shit, was this the worst movie for it. Specifically, when people wanted to swim and when they didn't want to swim. They would go immediately into their bathing suits And then once they've arrived on shore, they're immediately in like their regular street clothes. And this happened back and forth constantly. It just didn't make any sense.
I mean, it was hilarious when I think it was Coop when he died. One of our first main characters. His death was the best because they're like on like land, but like the shark eats him. And it's just like footage of him swimming in the water with his bathing suit on. It's very evident that they couldn't be in the water with their clothes and they couldn't be on land in their bathing suits.
They would swim over to an island and then they get onto the island and now they're fully clothed in different clothes. Like, how the fuck did you do this? And sometimes they would have a bag, but we just saw footage of them swimming with no bags. And can I say, they're all terrible swimmers.
I feel as though they shot this footage with them in like 1 foot of water and they're just on their bellies just going like this.
I also think that too.
Like, that's what it was. It's not that they're bad swimmers, just it was a very bad situation they were put in. Everything was just like shot awkwardly, especially if anyone's like climbing something or walking up. They had like really weird like low angle shots.
Speaking of the shots, the cinematography I didn't love because everything was a mid to close up. It was like here or here. It was fucking weird.
And they didn't do any L or J cuts, especially with the dialogue. When our characters are on the boats having conversations, it doesn't feel natural. It's like, I'll deliver my line, and then it will cut to Jay, and he'll deliver his line, and then back to me, and I'll deliver my line.
What now?
Well, there's a small island over there. Why don't we go explore it? Hoskins can pick us up when he gets the boat fixed.
Cool idea.
Seriously?
Beach roasting out here.
Yeah.
It's an easy swim.
I don't know about this idea.
Like, there's no smooth transition in between.
But speaking of transitions, boy did we have some. We'd have this weird like splash in water transition that would happen between a lot of the scenes. There were tons of them. You get used to them, but it is not one of the best things to do. It did make it feel a little bit more summery though. I will give it that. I did feel more at sea with them. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Shockingly, this is not the worst shark movie I've ever seen, but it's far from a good shark movie. I appreciate the effort that went into it. You know what you're getting into. The moment you see what the shark looks like, you're like, oh fuck, okay, here we go. And so I appreciate just going out and making a movie, whether you have a high budget or no budget. They made it work. They have a movie with international distribution. They did something right. I also did enjoy the shark. While cheesy, there was some effort put in. However, there is so much wrong with this movie. Even though it was somewhat self-aware and the acting was just really, really bad.
Rome wasn't built in a day, you know.
The characters don't have anything meaningful to say or do. The continuity is all over the place. The accents are just horrid, but the effort's there. So I am bumping this from a 0.5 to a 1 knee-high cat sock out of 5.
You know exactly what you're getting into when you watch a film called Sharkenstein. I do appreciate that they went out and they had a real puppet-like shark. Overall, the story was pretty weak, and our acting was also very weak. It just felt awkward through the majority of this film, and that's disappointing because you want to have fun with a concept like this where all the deadliest sharks in the world are now this like Sharkenstein monster. To me, that would be a blast, but it just felt like they were too busy trying to throw Frankenstein lore at you versus a fun shark movie. There was way too much stock footage, and the footage that we had that wasn't stock was poorly shot. This film has a great idea and a great concept, and they did as good of a job as you would expect, but it's really not an enjoyable film. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 0.5 martial art masters out of 5.
I have a weapon, and I know karate. Who's there?
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on Sharkenstein, if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. And come back tomorrow for our Shark Week finale, where I hope to God we get one. Because I think this might be collectively the worst Shark Week we've ever had. Unfortunately, as far as ratings are concerned. Come back tomorrow to find out in our finale.